All right, here we go. Puck drop. Controlled by Buffalo back into their zone. They chip it into the neutral zone. Backhanded pass picked off by Osseo. He leaves it for Berggraf. Berggraf goes up the left wing side. Shot wide left. Goes into the corner. Osseo back to Osseo. Buffalo wraps it around to the point. Ingebretson, nice keep there. Dumps it in deep. Osseo thought he was going to go up to the point. He turns and goes back into the corner. A little pressure. Squirts free to a Buffalo player. Towie and Berggraf give chase. Back up to the point. Ingebretson fans on the shot coming in. Good effort to keep that puck in the zone as Towie joins him. Nope, that was Berggraf. Puck ends up behind the Buffalo net. They leave it. Berggraf nearly picks it off. Now Buffalo exits the zone. 1-on-2 at the line. They come in wide with speed. Shot hits the side of the net and goes into the far corner. Buffalo there to corral it. They send a squeaker in on goal as Osseo able to clear. Buffalo backhands it deep in the zone. Towie behind the net now. Chips it up to Turk. Turk battling with Towie in the corner, trying to get it out. Shot comes in, save. Albers up and into the netting. We got a change here. Looks like Whiteford, Tiva, Turk, Hagen, and Steiner. Turk trying to push it out. Hagen wraps it around the backside of the net for Tiva. Tiva up the right wing boards. He cuts to the middle. That gets picked off. Whiteford there. Nice block on that pass attempt. Shot comes in. That hits a Buffalo player up front. Stung him a little bit. Steiner and Turk go to work. It comes free to Hagen. Tiva able to just chip it out of the zone to Turk. Turk loses it at the line and then gets absolutely lit up for his efforts. Big time hit there as he answers back up against the boards. Whiteford to Hagen. Hagen back to Whiteford. Whiteford trying to clear it. Buffalo able to hold. They're going to dump and change some players behind that play. Hagen in the corner. Takes a little hit. He goes down. Puck squirts free to Schuster. Schuster and Heinzman work behind the net. Puck comes out front. Slot shot. Save. Rebound. Buffalo scores to make it 1-0. Loose puck there, just came right up into the slot. Big juicy rebound, and they were able to capitalize on that. Ingebretson, Hedlund, Schuster, Heinzman, and Klein. Buffalo wins the draw back as now Ingebretson chips it just into the Buffalo zone. They're easily able to clear. Puck comes back to Hedlund. He goes D to D for Ingebretson. He backhands it up the boards, but not out. Nice stick to recover there as Buffalo controls in the neutral zone. Buffalo chips one all the way down. That should be icing. It is. We're going to change up forwards here. Back with that freshman line. Osseo on the draw. He wins it over to Towie. Towie up to Hedlund. Hedlund sends it back into the corner. Not deep enough, though, as a Buffalo player picks it off. Now they chip it around Hedlund. Ingebretson in all alone. Shot, save, Albers. Buffalo player came in and gave him a nice little poke in the check with a stick. And the boys took exception to that. Osseo again, defensive draw here. Draw was one and shot high into the netting. We'll set it up again. Buffalo wins the draw for Osseo. Got away with a little hook there. Buffalo goes D to D. They couldn't connect. As Burgraff comes flying in, strips that puck. Burgraff shot, hits the side of the net and goes behind the net. Buffalo recovers on the rebound. They're back out of the zone. They chip it around Osseo. Centering feed comes all the way to the near boards. Osseo to Towie. That just jumps over his stick. Towie gives chase. Towie in, dangles, forehand, backhand. He missed the backhand. We got a penalty coming, I believe, on Buffalo. Buffalo going to the box. I think that was a hook. That was a hook. Looks like they're going to leave Osseo and Burgraff out there. Ingebretson and Whiteford come out, as well as Tiva. So we got Burgraff, Osseo, Tiva on this power play. Osseo on the draw, wins it, back up to Whiteford. Whiteford goes back down low to Tiva. Tiva skates into the corner with Osseo. Tiva gets knocked down, able to get it back to Osseo. Osseo tries a centering feed, that doesn't come all the way out. Loose side of the net, Buffalo able to clear. Buffalo in, Speedy number 19 there, throws on the brakes, he goes down. Ingebretson trying to dig it out from underneath him. With some help from Osseo, they're just pushing him around. That puck still underneath him. Osseo pushes and pushes. It finally comes free, side of the net, loose. Whiteford's down up front, loose puck out front, save Albers. And Burgraff comes away with it behind the net. He throws on the brakes, bobbles it, and it's stuck in the corner. Pretty good penalty kill here from Buffalo so far. Whiteford finally comes away with it, skates it to the red line. He's gonna dump and change. Burgraff in on the forecheck. Buffalo with it now. Long pass all the way down. Nice clear there. As Osseo sets up behind the net. Schuster and Turk join with Hagen and Towie. 36 seconds left on the power play, 1-0 Buffalo. Hagen corrals it behind the net. Hagen to Towie. Towie's pass blocked. He's able to recover though, as he shoots up the left wing side and drops it for Turk. Turk to Schuster. Schuster chips it in. Right side of the net, trying to get it back to Turk. Loose out front, backhanded shot by Towie. Just couldn't get anything on it. And that comes all the way out, back to Hagen. Hagen off the boards to Towie. Towie back to Hagen.
Buffalo's full strength.
Full strength for Buffalo. Nothing going on that power play. As Hagen now sends one up the middle and misses Towie. Buffalo controls. Buffalo banks it off the boards. Hagen, good interception there. Buffalo able to chip it back in though. Turk behind the net, chips it up to Towie. Towie trying to get it around his man. He couldn't do it. Osseo comes in. Behind the net, chips it far side for Hagen. Hagen slaps it up the boards but couldn't get it out. Steiner takes a swipe at it. Buffalo still controls. They go back up to the point. Point man sends it back in. As now Turk's just going to send it the full length. That'll be on net, no icing. 10 minutes left in the first period. As Ingebretson and Hedlund come out with Heinzman, Schuster, and Klein. Hedlund comes away with it. He loses it right at the blue line. but able to get it to Heinzman. Heinzman back to Hedlund. Hedlund's pass gets blocked, and Buffalo's in. Hedlund goes into the corner battling. Heinzman joins. Heinzman comes away with it behind the net. He's got Klein. Klein tried to spring Heinzman through the middle, as there's some extracurriculars going on behind the play there with Hedlund. Hedlund tries to throw a big hit. He misses. That comes onto the stick of Schuster. Schuster behind the net to Ingebrigtsen. Ingebrigtsen banks it off the wall. Good clear there. Klein gives chase. Buffalo controlling this puck pretty well so far. Ingebrigtsen shot high into the netting, just a bit outside. 8:54 left in the first period. 1-0 Buffalo. Shots on goal, 6 for Buffalo, 3 for Osseo. Paseo on the draw again. Paseo wins it. Buffalo able to spring through and take that away though, as they dump it in deep. Osseo comes out of the zone, gloves it down to himself, trying to go right up the middle. Just about offsides there as Towie picks it up. He cuts to the middle. Towie shoots. Ooh, I think that was maybe off the post or a good blocker save anyway. Albers comes out to play that back to Paseo. Paseo up the boards, finds Berggraf. Nice pass. Towie had to hold up to stay on sides. Berggraf to Towie. Towie lost it into the corner. As Buffalo now putting on some pressure, and they come away with it. Up to the point, Legere shot blocked, comes to a Buffalo player. He gloves it down and passes it through the neutral zone. Nice outlet pass. Whiteford in pursuit, shot off the crossbar, goes into the far corner. That one surprised Albers a little bit. Lost the stick on the play. We got a whistle here now. Must have been an offsides call. I missed that. Turk on the draw with Tiva and Steiner. Ingebrigtsen and Hagen on defense. Turk comes away with it, battling into the zone. Couldn't get much going there. Buffalo gets one by Hagen. Ingebrigtsen comes back to recover. Turk comes in, throws a hit. Up against the boards now. They're digging it out. Steiner comes away with it. His pass blocked. Ingebrigtsen behind the net. Circles into the corner. Tries to chip it up the boards. He didn't get anything on that though. Steiner ties up his man. It comes loose to Tiva. Tiva up the left wing side, trying to build some speed. He takes a hit into the bench. Buffalo not able to clear. Now they do skate it out. Glove down out of the air by Ingebrigtsen. Buffalo gains his own. Turk banks it off the boards right to the point man for Buffalo. He cuts the middle shot wide right. As there was a big collision there with Turk and a Buffalo player. I'm not sure who got the worst of that. Played with a high stick. And we'll get another face-off. Offensive zone face-off coming up here for Heinzman, Schuster, Klein, Hedlund, and Osseo. Buffalo wins it back behind the net. Swarmed by Klein and Schuster though. Now they're able to get it out. Hedlund has to turn and burn. Hedlund with it now. He's going to skate it around the back of the net. Pressured. Gets it up to Klein. Klein tries to chip it out of the zone between his legs. That doesn't come out. Buffalo with it, shot wide left, goes into the far corner. Buffalo with it again as Klein comes in and takes his hands away. Pass up to the point. Shot comes in, deflected, they score. 2-0 Buffalo. That was a nice tip on the way in. Puck was coming in about crossbar height, maybe just under, and it ended up going in 5-hole. Not much Albers can do with that. Osseo wins the draw back to Whiteford. Whiteford to Ingebrigtsen. Bobbled it, he had to chip it up, but Osseo comes away with it. He's able to get it down into the zone. Towie gives chase up the boards. Buffalo able to chip it out. Ingebrigtsen with it now. Banks it hard off the boards, but not out. Buffalo cuts the middle backhand shot, save Albers. Berggraf in the corner, chips it up to Towie. Too much for him to handle, and Buffalo comes away with it. Centering feed, shot wide right. Goes into the corner. Another shot comes in on the backhand. Albers gobbles that up.
Schmidt for Murphy, time left. The Buffalo goal.
4:47 left in the first period. 2-0 Buffalo. Shots are 7-5 in favor of Buffalo. Olgier comes away with it off the draw, trying to get it to Towie. Buffalo turns that around. Hagen with it behind the net, throws on the brakes, looking for somewhere to go. He's pressured, pinned up against the boards. Puck squirts free to Olgier. He's got nowhere to go. He's got to go back around the net. Chips it up to Hagen. Too high for him. Berggraf comes away with it. Nice little centering feed for Towie. Towie up the left wing side. Berggraf breaking towards the net. Towie gets pressured into the corner, trying to come away with it, but Buffalo does. Hagen got to throw on the burners. He does. That pass hits his skates. Olgier comes away with it. Back up to the point. Buffalo shot well wide and left. That's going to ring around to Towie as he's able to chip it out of the zone. Berggraf now on the forecheck with Turk. Turk gains the zone, makes a move, backhand shot, soft, easily steered aside by the Buffalo goaltender. That's going to come all the way down for icing. Turk on the draw with Tiva, Steiner, Hedlund, and Ingebrigtsen. Ingebrigtsen with it now, sends in a shot. That hit a body on the way in, ends up behind the net. Buffalo recovers. They chipped up the boards just past Hedlund. Ingebrigtsen, though, cuts it off to Tiva. Tiva gains his own. It gets poked off of the stick, just sits on the blue line. Ingebrigtsen over to Hedlund. Hedlund misplays it. Passes it up and out. Buffalo's going to bring it in off sides. Heinzman on the draw with Schuster and Klein. Same D pairings out there. Hedlund, Ingebrigtsen. Hedlund into the corner. He's going to skate it around the net. Finds his D partner, Ingebrigtsen. Ingebrigtsen wraps it all the way around, looking for Schuster. That gets by him and into the neutral zone. Buffalo chips it deep in the zone as Ingebrigtsen and Klein miscommunication there. They weren't sure who was supposed to go after that one. But Heinzman able to dig it out from behind the net. Up to Schuster. Schuster tries to clear. Buffalo holds. Shot steered into the corner by Albers. Buffalo with another shot. Misses wide left. Back up to the point. Buffalo holds his own. Quick pass to the high slot. Shot. Well left. Schuster saw that hit coming last second. Made him pay for that one. Osseo behind the net. He's going to chip it. Not far enough to get by that Buffalo defender. Back up to the point. Buffalo goes rink wide into the corner. Osseo takes a swipe at it, nearly loses his footing, and that puck squirts free to Steiner. Or Schuster, excuse me. Schuster has it pop off his stick and couldn't recover. Buffalo in now, 3-on-1. Hedlund goes down to block it. Nice save by Albers. Up and out into the netting. Dangerous play there. Osseo on the draw. Burgraff comes away with it, trying to dig it out. As now Osseo and Burgraff run into each other. Hagen in the corner. Hagen to Osseo. Osseo up the boards. That just hops over the stick of that Buffalo defender as Towie comes flying in. Good effort there by Towie to break up that easy play. Buffalo in the zone. Wide. Centering feed goes through the crease all the way to the near side. Towie up against the boards. Trying to dig it out. Burgraff joins. Couldn't get it to go. They do just clear now. Buffalo chips one high into the air and into the corner. As Whiteford there ties his man up. 45 seconds left. We're going to get an icing call. Clock still running. Oh, 40.1 left to play in the first period. Turk comes out for the draw. Turk wins it into the corner. Hedlund was breaking though. Buffalo comes away with it. Shot, save, Albers. Good positioning there. Back up to the point. D to D pass. Buffalo shot blocked by Tiva. Ends up in the far corner. Buffalo back up to the point. They send it back down low. From the dot. Shot high over the net. Loose puck on the side of the net. As Albers comes across to make that save, he bumped the net off. .5 left in the first period. Turk again on the draw. It goes over to the boards and Hagen comes away with it. He's going to ring it around to the near side for Tiva. 7 seconds left. He goes back the other way. Steiner picks it up, tries to chip it around his man, and that'll be the end of the first. 2-0. Buffalo.
5. Buffalo at 9. There will be a 3-minute rest period followed by the second period play.
You see a little bit more puck movement from these boys in the second. Not seeing enough passing. Looks like we got a couple players warming up. One will be Joseph Scott, as well as St. Jacques. All right, here we go. 25 seconds to start the second period. Looks like we'll start with that freshman line again, as well as St. Jacques and Scott. Buffalo wins the draw back. They chase and go behind their net. Nope, centering feed loose. Almost comes onto the stick of Towie there. Osseo able to break that up. Chips it back to St. Jacques. That comes through as Scott had to make a little bit of a knee-to-knee play there. Got away with it. Osseo comes in for a big hit. We got the reverse exploding shoulder there. Osseo goes down. And we also have a tripping call. I think when he went down, his stick must have got tangled up and tripped that player. I didn't exactly see what happened there. Let's see the replay. Towie wins the draw forward and out of the zone. Nice face-off win there. Burgraff gives chase on the forecheck. Burgraff almost broke that up. Puck comes free to Hagen. Hagen's pass a little too slow to get to Towie, and Buffalo's going to be in offsides. Burgraff to take. Buffalo wins it back. A little bit of confusion at the line there. They got tangled up. They'll be in again, offsides. Towie again wins that draw forward all the way down and on net. A couple pretty good face-off wins for Towie there. Buffalo centering feed through the neutral zone, comes onto the stick of Hagen. He's able to clear it down and force Buffalo to set up again. Now Buffalo does gain the zone into the corner. We're just going to let him skate around the far side, keeping everything to the outside, back up to the point. Shot comes in right on the chest of Albers. Whiteford up but not out. 55 seconds left on the power play. Shot from the point. Deflection on the way in, it's loose. Puck squirts free behind the net. Back onto the stick of a Buffalo player. Rink wide pass. Now back up to the point. Far side shot, save Albers. Puck ends up behind the net onto the stick of Burgraff now. Burgraff's got a little bit of room. Fans on his outlet pass. And Buffalo recovers. Tripped up at the line by Burgraff. Towie's just going to send it the length. 13 seconds left on the Buffalo power play. Good penalty kill so far. Long pass, gets by everybody and goes all the way down for icing. 6 seconds left on the power play. Turk on the draw. Buffalo wins it back. Turk tangled up in the dot with his man. A few extracurriculars there. Buffalo just on sides as they gain the zone. They chip it down into the corner. Turk throws a hit. Couldn't come away with it though. Shot blocked by Scott out front. Tiva pushes it up and out of the zone. Buffalo recovers though. They send it right back in. Hedlund wraps it around far side. He was looking for Scott. That puck comes high off the glass and into the Buffalo zone. No icing. Tiva throws a hit, comes away with the puck, then gets hit back in return. As now Buffalo up the right wing side. Scott throws a big bone-crunching hit there. He says, not today. Hedlund with it now. Gets it up to Tiva. Tiva's going to dump it in, and we're going to get a quick change here. Schuster comes flying in. Buffalo centering feed. They exit the zone. They're going to dump it in. Buffalo's going to change. Schuster corrals it behind the net. Working back up. Rink-wide pass blocked. Buffalo turns it over as Hedlund gives chase. Pushes his man up against the boards. Comes away with the puck for the moment, but then loses it on the far side. Steiner with it now. Steiner tripped up, no call. I think their feet just got tangled up. He gets up looking around like, what happened? Why wasn't that a trip? St. Jacques kind of in all alone here. Hustles over to put on some pressure. Buffalo behind the net. Backhanded shot. Didn't miss by much. Buffalo again with it. There's a trip. No call. All right, we're even, I guess. As Schuster throws a hit and clears the zone. St. Jacques coming in. Goes back to Whiteford. Whiteford looking for somewhere to go. Nobody will open. Heinzman and Klein give chase. That should have been too many men, as I'm not sure who was climbing over the boards. It hit his skate. Too many men. I didn't see who was climbing over the boards. They're putting Whiteford in the box, but I don't think that's who skated hit. So unfortunate for Osseo, they're going to get called with too many men. Osseo on the draw, wins it back to Hagen. Hagen tied up, tries to chip it out, but it doesn't come out. Rolling puck now, Buffalo goes D to D. Shot blocked by Pasale. And that puck squirts back up to the high slot. Shot comes in onto the stick of Hagen. He works around the back of the net. Hagen still with it. He's going to skate it out on this PK. Tries to chip it around his man. He gets held up. Soft shot comes in. Loose puck. Pasale races over to take a swipe at it. Couldn't get there. Hagen hustling back to get back into the play. Pasale now able to clear it. Scott comes through, throws a hit. Buffalo player's stick is flying through the air. I think we're in offside. Turk on the draw. Turk wins it back to Hedlund. Nowhere to go with it. He just chips it up the boards. Buffalo sends it back in deep. Albers comes out to play it, tees it up for St. Jacques, but he couldn't get over there. Now Buffalo back up to the point. Shot comes in, save Albers. High and glove down by Buffalo. Hedlund side of the net now chases into the corner. Buffalo switches it up again. Back up to the point. D to D. Shot comes in, blocked by Turk. Osseo able to clear again. Long shot in on net. And that puck squirts into the corner, chipped up the boards and out as Turk gives chase. Turk with some good pressure there, able to eat up precious seconds here. Towie backhands it deep into the zone. Buffalo right up the middle as Towie was tied up. Couldn't get a stick on that. Another long shot comes in. That's knocked down by Headland. Albers comes out to play it, rings it around the far side. Headland didn't like that as the Buffalo player got tangled up with Albers a little bit. Centering feed right through the crease. Turk picks it up on the near side. Turk sends it the full length, right on net. No icing. Long outlet pass picked up by St. Jacques. He's going to bank it off. Nearly hits the ref. Steiner with it now, dangling. He gets swarmed. Tiva throws a hit. Puck comes loose to Heinzman. Heinzman desperately trying to get it back over to Tiva. Tiva comes over to help, goes through the middle. That gets poked off of his stick. And Buffalo is able to chip it down and avoid the icing call. Tiva goes in hard. Takes a little hit, but comes out unscathed. Whiteford now with it. Chips it around behind the net. Hagen gives chase. Hagen chips it up, but not out. Little wall battle there, and Buffalo comes away with it. Rink wide pass, broken up by Steiner. Whiteford chips it up, looking for Steiner, couldn't get it to him. Shot comes in, save Albers. That one gets chipped high and out of play. Buffalo wins it, but that comes clean to Klein. Scott chips it up the boards. Klein gives chase. Klein in on the forecheck. Good pressure there. Buffalo able to get it out though. Centering feed. Shot. Save Albers. Second shot. Rebound. Save Albers again. We got a little scrum in front of the net now. Great save by Albers there. Big rebound though, as they're able to put another one right in. Osseo on the draw. Quick shot off the draw, goes high over the net as Scott goes to work in the corner. Chips it to Osseo. Osseo all the way around. Towie trying to pick it up on the far side. Couldn't dig it out. Scott again in the corner. Scott throws a hit. Felt that pressure coming. Buffalo, quick shot, blocked by Pasale out front. Gets it to Bergeraff. Bergeraff to Towie. Towie up the right wing side. Bergeraff had to hold up. Oh, he couldn't hold up. They're going to be offside. Couple words being exchanged now by Scott and one of the Buffalo players. Pasale again on the draw. Tangled up in his feet, comes free to Headland. He chips it deep into the zone, and Pasale gives chase. Buffalo there first. They ring it around, but not out, as Bergeraff goes to work. Now at the point, Buffalo able to clear it out. Hagen with some speed, catches up with that, throws on the brakes, looking for somebody, goes all the way across. Found Towie, but Towie couldn't handle it. Headland with it now. Chips it up, but not out. Buffalo back down deep. Buffalo shot. I think that went off the cage of Pasale. Now another shot comes in. Save Albers. He steers it behind the net. Buffalo with it as Pasale comes in, throws a hit. Puck comes loose. Albers able to cover it up. And we're tangled up again at the net. 6:34 left to go in the second period. Buffalo up 2-0. I don't think Osseo's had a shot on goal in a good 6-8 minutes. Whiteford wraps it around the far side. Tiva there. Tiva takes a little hit. Puck squirts free to St. Jacques. He banks it off the boards, but not out. Buffalo walks in. They send it back down into the corner. Now up to the point. Back down low again. Whiteford throws a hit. Tries to clear. Buffalo corrals that. Shot comes in. Save Albers. Tiva with it. Ran out of room. As Turk now tries to backhand it out. Albers with yet another save. Buffalo teeing it up from the point. We need to chip that puck high out of the off the glass and out maybe. Let's try something different, boys. Turk goes down behind the net. As now St. Jacques comes in to defend him. I think St. Jacques going to go. Might take them both. Looks like just the Buffalo player going. All right. Osseo going on a power play. Hedlund, Scott, Howie, Osseo, and Berggraf. 4 freshmen and a senior here. Osseo couldn't control that draw. Buffalo wins it back, but he races over into the corner along with Berggraf. Berggraf comes away with it. Berggraf looking for a pass. That gets by Scott. Hedlund's got to put his wheels on now. He does save Albers. Hedlund does just enough to break that up. Good hustle there. Scott with it now. Gets it out of the zone. Only momentarily though. As Pasale has it now, he just turns and fires it down. They wave off icing. Buffalo able to clear. Back up to the point. Buffalo controls. Shot high over the net. That goes all the way around and out. But onto the stick of a Buffalo player. They send it right back in. Hedlund now getting pressured in the corner. Gets a little help from Pasale. Back up to the point. Short-handed attempts here. Got to get this puck moving, boys. Towie tries to chip it over his man. Berggraf comes in, throws a hit. That squirts free to Hedlund in the corner. He's pressured right away. Berggraf with it now. He's going to fire at the length. Going to be on net. I think he was trying to get an icing call to get a change there. As this line was a little gassed, I think. Scott now pokes it. Buffalo comes away. 3-on-1 at the line. They work it down low. Centering feed goes through the crease and up to the point. Shot comes in deflected. Whiteford picks it up in the corner. He's going to fire it out of the zone. As now Steiner picks it up. He's got Pasale with him. Makes a move at the blue line. They're going to be offsides. Steiner, Tiva, Turk, Hagen, and St. Jacques. As we're back to even strength here, Hagen corrals it behind the net. He gets ridden into the wall. Buffalo gloves that down. Loose puck, squirts free to Hagen. Hagen nowhere to go. Gets turned around, now he comes back behind the net. Hagen changes directions again. Nice little move there. We got to get some guys open for him to pass to. Shot, blocked down up front, loose. Couldn't tell if there was a secondary save there. Another shot from the slot, knocked down. Turk fires it high off the glass, couldn't get it out. Shot from the slot, save, Albers. Another blast comes in wide right. That rings all the way around to the far side. As they try to wrap it around, it comes all the way up and out. Buffalo gonna dump it in, they'll change as Hagen corrals it in the corner. Just misses a hit there. Buffalo shot, save, Albers. That Buffalo player came in a little late there and took a poke. Albers handled that well though. Heinzman, Whiteford, Schuster, Klein, and Scott on the ice. Buffalo wins it. Shot comes in and goes into the corner. Scott in the corner trying to get it up to Klein. Klein couldn't control that one. Heinzman now digs it out. Gets it into the neutral zone as Buffalo turns it back around. Scott tanks it back into the neutral zone. Heinzman on the forecheck. Heinzman, good pressure. Couldn't quite come away with that one. Good pressure though. Whiteford gonna send that all the way in on net. No icing. Buffalo picks it up and they start right back out. Buffalo good on the line. Shot, save, Albers. Draw won by Paseo. Loose on the side, loose out front. Buffalo able to pop that one in to make it 3-0. Paseo wins the draw. Back at center, shoots through, able to center that. It came right to a Buffalo player and beat Albers 5-0. Hedlund with it now, chips it up to Towie. Towie couldn't control it. Buffalo able to chip it out. Burgraff sends it down into the corner. Him and Towie both give chase. Towie goes into the boards hard. He's back up though. Burgraff swarmed behind the net. Buffalo able to get it out. Buffalo player goes down. I thought we were going to get a tripping call there. Nothing coming. Loose puck, Hedlund gets a stick on it. Burgraff chases it into the corner, chips it up but not out. Loose to Hedlund, he's able to poke it clear. Paseo now on a breakaway. Paseo shot high over the net. Buffalo goaltender got a little piece of that. And that puck's gonna go high and into the corner. Burgraff comes in, misses his hit. Loose out front, Paseo, another shot, that's knocked down. Buffalo comes away with it. 2-on-2 at the line. St. Jacques and Hedlund. Hedlund tries to block it. 8 seconds left as that puck comes to the far side. Burgraff trying to dig it out. And that'll be the end of the second. Buffalo up 3-0. Saw a little flash of life there at the end of that period. Paseo just missing on a breakaway. Good wheels there. Looks like that Buffalo player did catch up with him a little bit. Just get a stick on his stick right before he pulled the trigger. Towey and Burgraff, Headland and St. Jacques. Buffalo wins the draw back. Player goes down. Burgraff takes advantage. Shot, save, rebound, second attempt. I think that hit the side of the net, and that puck's gonna squirt out all the way down. Albers comes out to play it. St. Jacques corrals behind the net. Rink wide pass, banks it off. Too much for Burgraff, and Buffalo chips it back into the neutral zone. St. Jacques with it now. Banks it behind the net for his D partner, Headland. Headland throws on the brakes, goes D to D back to St. Jacques. St. Jacques, long outlet pass, connects with Burgraff. Burgraff trying to spring Turk there, but couldn't get anything on it. Burgraff with it now at the line, poked away. Back to St. Jacques. St. Jacques goes D to D for Headland. Headland through the middle, that gets picked off. Buffalo in. St. Jacques, ooh, off the post and out of play. It was a pretty quick release there by that Buffalo player. Turk wins the draw over to Whiteford. He couldn't get there in time. That puck's going to go in all the way around as Towey gives chase behind the net. Buffalo comes away with it. Fans on his pass. Towey tries to tie him up. Turk joins in, back to the line. They get by Whiteford. Hagen in all alone on a 2-on-1. Shot, save, Albers. Big time save. Puck comes up to the point. Burgraff throws a hit. Towey comes away with the puck. Towey makes a little move. He's able to get it out of the zone. Up to Turk. Turk's going to dump it in. He gets hit on the line as Burgraff goes in down low with Towey. Burgraff able to squirt it back to Towey. Towey looking, goes all the way up to the point. Back now for Whiteford. Whiteford shot. That's knocked down in front. Buffalo is going to send it the full length. On a clear. Power play time running out. Buffalo back to full strength. Whiteford gets it to Heinzman. Heinzman tries to chip it down deep. That's intercepted. Feed goes through the middle. Towey takes a swing at it, but it was a swing and a miss. Hagen now gets it poked off of his stick. He's got to hustle back. 2-on-1. They pass it. Vraa shot, save, Albers. Nice pad save there. As Hagen able to come away with that. Hagen up the left wing side. He cuts to the middle. Now gets pushed wide. His shot scores. Hagen all alone goes coast to coast. Makes it 3-1. Hagen dangles through. Just sends it in. The goalie went up. I couldn't tell if that tipped or not, or if that puck just had eyes. Maybe it was a little bit of a knuckle puck. But that thing finds the back of the net. That might be the spark we needed. Heinzman now on the draw. Buffalo wins it back. Buffalo goes rink wide, broken up by Headland. Headland able to dump it in, but not deep as Buffalo brings it back out. Shot blocked by St. Jacques. St. Jacques goes into the corner, and he's able to ring it high off the glass and out of the zone. Buffalo with it now. They backpedal into their own zone. Schuster comes in, puts on a little pressure. Buffalo chips it in deep. Albers out to play it. Tees it up for St. Jacques. St. Jacques comes around the side of the net. He goes wide, dishes it off to Steiner. Steiner backhand pass, didn't have much on it. St. Jacques able to chip it ahead to Schuster. Steiner and Schuster go into the corner. Schuster comes away with it. Centering feed comes all the way up to the point. St. Jacques shot, save, rebound, and Steiner scores on the rebound to make it 3-2. Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years. Centering feed comes all the way back up to the point. St. Jacques sends it in. Big juicy rebound, just sits on the crease, and Steiner bangs it home. Turk now out to take the draw. You can see the momentum shift. These boys' shoulders aren't hanging so low. Skating with a little purpose here now. Buffalo in the zone. They're going to be offsides. We'll set it up again here as Turk comes in to take another draw. Turk wins it over to Berggraf. That goes through his legs. Turk races over, sends it into the zone. Towie gets hit up against the boards, but he's able to chip it in deep. Puck careens all the way around and out as Whiteford goes to chase it down. Towie with it now. Glove down on the pass. Buffalo working down low. Berggraf overskates it. The puck comes onto the stick of Towie. He turns, tries to send it up the boards, but it goes right onto the stick of the point man. He sends a shot in. Luckily wide left. Back up to the point. Buffalo dumps it in again. Hagen behind the net now. Hagen pressured. Buffalo comes away with it, looking for a wraparound. Feed comes all the way out. Berggraf on a breakaway now. Speedy number 15 for, Berggraf off the post and out. Berggraf nearly tied it up on that breakaway. He wants that one back. Speedy number 15 here for Buffalo catches him. Look at him close that gap. Berggraf does and is able to get that shot off the post and out behind the goalie's back. Second attempt gobbled up by the goalie by Towie there. Good effort for Towie to get there and try to clean that up. Heinzman now on the draw. That goes into the corner. Klein trying to dig it out of there. Klein able to chip it up, but not out. He was looking for St. Jacques at the point. That gets by Hedlund. Hedlund able to break it up. Steiner down low. Chips it around the near side for St. Jacques. He rings it around to the point. Buffalo able to chip it back in. Hedlund in the corner now, throws a little hit. Buffalo comes away with it right out front. Broken up by St. Jacques. Klein now gives chase. Buffalo shot, changes directions on the way in. Ends up wide left of the net. Loose puck. Buffalo fighting to get there, they do. Pass broken up by Klein. Buffalo comes away with a shot. Blocked out front, loose in the feet of a Buffalo player. St. Jacques sends it into the corner. Klein tries to dig it out. Buffalo comes away with it. Now onto the stick of Steiner. He's going to send it the full length. They wave off icing though. Say that it was tipped. 11:15 left to go in this third period as Berggraf looked like he was going to throw a bone-crunching hit there and then held up. Hagen takes a little hit in the corner. Buffalo still with it. They're working down low. Now back up to the point. In the slot. Pass broken up. Squirts free to Hagen. Hagen up the left wing side. Hagen goes in. Avoids a pretty big hit there. That should have been. That was offsides. Puck came out and back in. We'll set it up. Turk on the draw. Turk wins it back for Hagen. Hagen trying to corral it. Berggraf joins him. That puck gets chipped high into the air. Buffalo player without a stick. He kicks it down into the corner. As Whiteford goes in to throw a hit, I think he hit Hagen. Loose puck out front in the crease. Albers scrambling. Able to cover it up. Big time save from Albers there. Good work. Centering feed comes up. Albers with 1, 2, maybe 3 saves there. Finally able to jump on top of that one. Turk on the draw. Buffalo controls. St. Jacques dumps his man as well as Hedlund. Hedlund now into the corner. Hedlund throws a hit. Puck comes free, unfortunately, to a Buffalo player. Berggraf chips it around. Hedlund goes to throw a hit, ends up hitting Berggraf. We're throwing hits on our own guys now. Towie comes away with some speed. Towie works it wide into the corner now. Gets it stripped away from him as Turk comes in. He throws a hit. Puck squirts free back to Towie in the corner. Towie goes up to the point. Hedlund, long shot, blocked up front. And Buffalo able to come away with it. Buffalo now sends in a shot wide left. That ends up on the far side. Turk's going to fire it out of the zone. They're going to change behind that play. Towie, the lone man in, does get a stick on that pass. Able to break it up for the moment. Just enough time to get some help from his friends. Whiteford now at the red line. He dumps it in on net. Buffalo with it behind the net, trying to set it up. He gets turned around by Klein. Outlet pass on the money to Buffalo's number 7. Buffalo up the middle, loose puck. They chip it down low. Whiteford in the corner with Heinzman. Schuster comes in, he's able to chip it out of the zone. Buffalo controls though. Klein gives chase. Buffalo outlet pass, shot. Albers, I think, just let that one go by as it was going to miss. Buffalo starting to put on a little more pressure here. Schuster in the corner. Back to Whiteford. Whiteford overskates, recovers, chips it to the far corner. Buffalo goes D to D. Schuster comes in and runs his man over. No call. I thought maybe he was going to get rung up there. Buffalo with another long outlet pass. Hedlund in. Shot. Albers steers it into the corner. Now a pass comes right through the crease and all the way up to the point. Buffalo works in. Loose puck. Turk's going to chip it out into the neutral zone and give chase. St. Jacques banks it off the boards. Too much for Turk to handle. Hedlund able to tie his man up. Shot comes in. Albers with another bad save. St. Jacques working in the corner. Centering feed, shot, save. Albers if that got through. Bergerath with it now. Bergerath up the middle. Finds Towie. Towie leaves it for Bergerath. Bergerath on another little bit of a breakaway here. He gets pushed down and goes hard into the boards. Towie comes in to help. Buffalo able to clear back for Whiteford. Whiteford to Hagen. Hagen back to Whiteford. Now we're starting to move it a little bit. Pass from Whiteford to Towie, a little off the mark. Towie couldn't corral it. Whiteford with a good stick there for the moment. Buffalo able to bring it in. Speedy number 15 for Buffalo works down into the corner. Hagen comes in. Puck squirts free to Steiner. Klein tries to help. Buffalo at number 15, he's pretty shifty. Pretty good puck control out of that kid. Down low is Hagen going to work. Buffalo comes away with it. Centering feed as Whiteford is going to just send it the length. We get an icing call, but we'll also get a change. 6:17 left to go. 3-2 Buffalo. Heinzman, Schuster, Steiner, Hedlund, and St. Jacques. Draw one by Buffalo. Good wheels there by Schuster to cut that off though. Schuster with Steiner on the line. They come in 2-on-4. Heinzman throws a stick at it. Buffalo with it now. Hedlund ties his man up. St. Jacques now behind the net, trying to chip it back far side for Hedlund. Couldn't get it there. Hedlund now behind the net. Hedlund ties his man up as St. Jacques lifts it high off the glass, but not out. Centering feed, tipped out front, just went wide right. As now Steiner is going to just chip it out of the zone so we can reset. Schuster in the corner. Throws a little hit. Hedlund trying to dig it out. Puck squirts free. Buffalo able to send it back down deep. Buffalo side of the net, backhanded shot, save. Albers, rebound comes out front. Another shot from the point, blocked by Steiner. As now Schuster fans on his outlet pass. Keep it moving, boys. Good things will happen. Hedlund now, far wall, takes a swipe at it. He gets pushed into the boards. Gets to his feet, and the puck ends up right back on his stick. He's going to send it down. That will not be icing. They waved it off. Buffalo sends it back the other way. That will be icing. 4:33 left to go here. Osseo looking for that tie-up goal. Seeing a little more physical play here now that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Draw won by Osseo, back up to the point. Hagen pressured, able to get it to Heinzman. Heinzman works it down behind the net. Heinzman on his backhand, sends it all the way up for Whiteford. Whiteford banks it off the boards, couldn't get it back down low though. Bergeraff comes back to help him. Hagen takes a swipe at it. Shot, save, Albers. Heinzman on the draw. Buffalo wins it back. Quick shot blocked out front by Bergeraff. Towie chips it around his man. Bergeraff was calling for it. Bergeraff tries to get it back to Towie. Now does. Towie's shot blocked. Ends up getting stopped out front. Buffalo with it now. They gain the neutral zone and dump it in. High off the glass. Whiteford chips it up the wall. Now back into the corner. Buffalo with it. Towie takes it away, makes a spinorama move and comes up the near boards. Couldn't get it out. Now onto the stick of Turk. Turk banks it off the boards. Again, not quite out. Whiteford trying to spring Bergeraff there. That gets turned over. Shot nowhere near the net. Towie trying to chase one down. Towie poking at it desperately, trying to get that deep in the zone. As now Turk comes in, he does hold his own. Bergeraff in the corner, sends it out front, nobody home. Whiteford with a good stick. Whiteford down in the corner, works it down into the corner, now back up for Turk. Turk's shot high, gloved by the Buffalo goalie. .253 left to go in the third period. Line, Steiner, St. Jacques, Hedlund, and Heinzman coming out to take the draw. Draw comes out to the point. Hedlund sends it back down low. Heinzman working behind the net, gets the puck stripped. Back up to St. Jacques. St. Jacques throws a hit on the wrong player. Shot high over the glass. Steiner goes over to touch up. St. Jacques gonna go for 2 minutes. Buffalo's gonna be on the power play. With 2:32 left to go. It's a bad situation for that penalty. Heinzman, Hagen, Steiner, Hedlund out there. For the penalty kill. Hagen catches that draw, sends it around the back up to the high slot. Buffalo goes D to D. Now from the point, skates through the middle, backhanded pass up the boards. Buffalo shot from the point. Albers bobbles that a couple times, able to slap it out of there with a stick. Onto the stick of Hagen. He tries to clear it around the backside. Buffalo intercepts. Buffalo works it back down low. Looking. Hedlund on his man. Throws a little hit. Now he's able to pop it off of his stick. Good effort there by Hedlund. He goes down to block that pass. Buffalo walks in. Shot comes back up. Now in the high slot. Shot. Save Albers. Buffalo works behind the net. Hagen meets him on the other side. Centering feed. Hedlund able to clear. Good effort there by Hedlund and Hagen to get that clear. Heinzman goes in on the forecheck. Buffalo comes in with speed. Right up the middle. Shot. Save. Albers. Hedlund goes skate to stick. Pushes it into the corner. Back up to the point. They work it back down the wall. Through the middle, pass off the mark. Whiteford hustles over. He's able to not clear up to the point. Shot comes in. Blocker saved by Albers. Ends up in the corner. 24 seconds left on the power play. Buffalo works up the middle. Shot, save Albers. Rebound, they score. 4-3. Buffalo made us pay for that late penalty. They just walk right in the middle. Shot, rebound, big juicy rebound in a perfect spot. They poke it in. Osseo with 48.4 seconds left here to do something. Let's go out with a bang here. Osseo on the draw, he gets tied up. Buffalo comes away with it. They send it in right on net. Albers sends it into the corner. Hagen trying to chip it up the boards. That centering feed goes all the way across. Vraa unable to corral that. Towie knocks it out of the air. Towie chips it around his man, and Buffalo sends it back in. Whiteford into the corner now. Sends it around for Hagen. Hagen off the boards looking for Towie. Towie tried to tee that up for Turk. And now we're getting called a hand pass. 13.1, they're going to bring it all the way down. Turk on the draw, wins it to Towie. Towie up the middle. Towie with some speed. Buffalo goalie comes way out to play it. Towie nearly corralled that and got around him. 3-2-1. That's the game. Good last minute effort there by JT.
Shots on goal in the third period. Buffalo had 11 for the 3-period total. 38. Osseo had 12 for the 3-period total. Of 14.
All right, well, we're going to shake them up. Oh, here's the replay. I'm not used to the replay yet. I'm still learning at this. So